In part 5 of the Unit 3 test review, we are going to be sketching a graph of a linear inequality. Okay, so here's our inequality. Remember, this says y less than negative 2/3 x minus 3. So this is not an equation. This is an inequality. But we treat it and graph it very similar to our equation, y equals mx plus b. So we have our minus 3 here. That's our y-intercept. This is in slope-intercept form. So if we have a y-intercept of minus 3, I simply go to 0, 0, and I go down 1, 2, 3 units and put a point right there. So let me go ahead and start with that point. That's my y-intercept. And then I have a slope of negative 2/3. So remember, a slope of negative 2/3, I could put the negative with the 2 over 3. That means from this point, I would go negative 1, 2, and over 1, 2, 3 units to the right, and I would have a negative slope. Or if you, also, not to confuse you, but if you made the 2 positive, you would make the 3 negative. That means we would go up 2 units and to the left 3, but you would see that our points are lining up with a negative slope. All right, so again, I will go negative 2, positive 1, 2, 3, and I will put a point right there at 3. All right, and you see, or again, if I applied the other one, it would be positive 1, 2, and then negative 1, 2, 3, and I would put a point right there, and I'll do that as well. And you see that those are, again, lining up. So we have but remember, okay, I just drew a solid line. However, if I look back on my inequality, it's just less than. Remember, if it's not equal to, then you do not use a solid line. You use a dashed line. So I'm going to back out of that line. Quick notes real quick. Quick reminder, if you have greater than or less than, you just use the dashed line. If you have greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, you use the solid line. Equal to means solid line. And then when we shade our answers, if you have y greater than or y greater than or equal to, you shade everything above the line. And if you have y less than or y less than or equal to, you shade everything below. So let me go ahead and sketch my dashed line for this one because it's just a less than. So I would need to sketch a dashed line through these points. Like that. And the only other thing I need to consider is the shading. Well, this is a less than. That means all the solutions are going to be everything less than or everything below this line. So I'm just quickly going to shade in below this line. This would represent my solutions, okay? And that is a review of graphing linear inequalities.